I made 3 6'4" all-around builds, and 2 of them have no weaknesses. So if you're looking for an all-around guard build that can do a little bit of everything, this is the perfect video for you. One of the builds having a 92 perimeter, 71 block, 85 steal, contact dunks, an 86 speed with ball, which you can max +2 tier 1 badge it and get legend lightning launch at some point. And with shooting specialization on this build, you can get legend set shot specialist and gold shifty shooter. With an 85 pass ac, max rebounding, where you can eventually get a max +2 tier 2 badge and get Hall of Fame rebound chaser. We all know from my gameplay breakdown video that the dribbling is way smoother and faster, shooting has no RNG, and the dunk meter got a buff, leading me to believe these builds are going to be very fun to use. And this video's purpose is just to help you get a better idea on what to make for NBA 2K26. So make sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video for your boy, and let's get started. With NBA 2K26 being new to all of us, you're gonna need help with the best animations and jump shots. And NBA2KLab.com has you covered with a bunch of free tools. But if you buy their monthly subscription using code DOUBLEH for 20% off at checkout, you get access to all their premium tools, ranking all the best to worst animations, but having the ability to have every jump shot's base and releases ranked in green window percents and speeds in milliseconds is wild. There's also a custom jump shot recommender where you can plug in your controller and it recommends you a jump shot for your controller and latency. Get started now by going to NBA2KLab.com and use code DOUBLEH at checkout. What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Henry, aka DOUBLEH, and I'm back at it with yet another banger, another build video from testing 2K26 early. And if you want a 6'4" build, let me tell you right now, 6'4" might be one of the best heights, if not the best height for 6'4" and under players. Now, this video is specifically for all-around players. You want an all-around build that can do a little bit of everything. This is genuinely going to be the best it gets. I'm not even kidding. So the first 6'4" build I made, and by the way, Russell Westbrook, prime Russell Westbrook on the thumbnail for a reason, except he a better shooter with this version. So the first one I made has max wingspan. Yes, max wingspan is 6 inches over your height this year. So we went 6'4", max wingspan. So I want you to keep that in mind when you're seeing this build. So the first thing we did is upgrade the shooting. So we went 83 3-pointer, 89 mid-range, and this build's gonna have shooting specialization. And honestly, I could save even more attributes if I went 87 midi and had the cap breakers in mind with the shooting specialization and put even more on something else. You're gonna get gold set shot and silver shifty shooter. With shooting specialization, you can get legend set shot and gold shifty shooter. So that would be insane. And with the shooting having no RNG this year, bro, like, this build is gonna be very easy to shoot with, and you can even put that max +1 on silver limitless if you don't like the bronze limitless. Moving on to the finishing, I went with an 89 driving dunk. Now, the standing dunk does not need to be upgraded, even though I would have gone 40 anyways, because you actually don't get any standing dunk animations this year if you're 6'4" and below. You have to be 6'5" or taller, so there's literally not a singular reason to upgrade your standing dunk if you're 6'4" and below. But anyways, with the close shot and the driving layup, I left it at default. We're gonna have another version of the build that has a higher layup than that if you're worried about that. But I ended up going a little lower layup on this specific version so we can get a higher agility. Anyways, moving on to the playmaking. I already know a lot of people have been complaining about creators not putting up their pass ac at all. And I did it on my first build because 71 pass ac is more than enough to play at the twos. But you're not gonna be complaining in this video, man. 85 pass accuracy on this build. That's going to go ahead and get you gold versatile visionary, gold dimer, and even bronze bailout. So bailout's definitely a tough badge to get because you need a pretty high pass. I mean, you need at least an 85 pass accuracy. Plus, this build is probably going to come with a bunch of good pass styles considering your pass ac is this high. Then with the ball handle, we went 85 ball handle. That I already know a lot of y'all are probably going to be like, oh, I want a 92 ball handle. Now, I'm gonna end up dropping a video later today with 6'6s that have 92 ball handle, but this was an all-around build, okay? There's really good dribble moves at 85 and below, but if you want a build that can literally do a little bit of everything, this is what you're gonna have to go with. Now, you can easily switch up this build and lower some of the other stats and get the 92 ball handle. You don't act like you have to just take the build I made. Like, this is just to show you what you can get away with, and then you can make the adjustments you want to make. And so with the 85 ball handle, we get the highest tier momentum crossover. We get a lot of good dribble moves in this game, like a lot. There's a lot at 85 ball handle. Like, the only thing you're probably not gonna get is just the Curry, Trae Young type of moves, like the Curry slide. You're not gonna get Steve Francis isn't even in this game, so you don't have to worry about that. Anyways, 86 speed with ball is going to give you gold lightning launch, and you can eventually max +2 tier 1 badge this and get legend lightning launch on this build. So the playmaking was completely loaded. Now moving on to the defense. Now with this specific version, we went with a 60 interior, 70 block. That's going to give us a bronze high flying denier. And I already know, you know, people that watch build videos, they always got to complain about one stat or something. This is going to be one of those stats for this build. 60 interior, I don't know why. Like, bro, I'm not going to completely gut out the build to get a 72 interior on a 6'4" point guard build. Like, it's just not worth it. You don't get any badges from that. I already have a max block with 70 block. Well, max would be 71, but 70 block. We have the bronze high flying denier. If you really wanted to, you could eventually +2 badge tier 2 high flying denier for gold, but you are a 6'4" point guard. You're not going to be out here guarding a 7-foot center in the paint, you know, unless you're playing the 1v1 court. Then okay, then go ahead and just change that for your own build. But anyways, 70 block, 60 interior. I didn't want the interior to be like a 40, so we went ahead and at least upgraded it a little bit. The perimeter defense, 92 perimeter, man. We are going to be getting gold challenger, gold on-ball menace, gold pick dodger, and even Hall of Fame off-ball pest. This is pretty damn crazy that we are getting all these other stats and a 92 prim. Now, I make another 6'4" later in this video that has 85 prim, 91 steal. So if you're looking for a higher steal, you'll probably want that one. But 85 steal, that's going to give us gold interceptor. That's going to give us silver pickpocket. I feel like that's pretty good, especially since lanes are way better than plucks in 2K26 when I tested it. So I feel like going 85 to 91 might not be the best idea, but yeah, I would probably prefer the 92-85 steal over the 85 prim 91 steal. Moving on to the rebounding. Hey, when I put Russell Westbrook on this thumbnail, I wasn't kidding, man. 73 O board, 80 D board, and the best part about this is Rebound Chaser is a tier 2 badge on a 6'4", and you are very easily going to unlock that max +2 tier 2 badge where you can get Hall of Fame Rebound Chaser on this build. I mean, when I tell you I tried to make an all-around build, I tried to make that, and this is exactly what that is. Moving on to the physicals, I already know this is probably going to be the thing that people complain about. No strength on this build. We're going to talk about that in a second. 86 speed, 82 agility, and 78 vert. So we got the high speed because the speed with ball. A lot of people go like 78, 77 agility in these 2K26 build videos, but we didn't have to sacrifice our agility in this one. We got the 82 agility, 78 vert for the contacts. Now moving on to the strength, let's just zoom out and look at this build, okay? If you're going to complain about the strength on this build, you're going to have to put something else down. Like, I feel like when people complain about one stat out of a build, they're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put it up. Like, no, you got to put something else down. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, I'll put the perimeter defense down, but that's not going to be enough to get a crazy high strength. Not only that, you're going to have to put your weight up on top of that to get a good strength on this build. Because max strength on this build right here is 79. That's not going to be enough to get what you want with the strength. So you're gonna have to go slower, meaning you're not even gonna get the 86 speed with ball for the gold lightning launch, which I feel like is very important on this 6'4". So I think if you went strength on this build, it would just completely ruin the build. Not only that, with how fast the dribbling is and the potential of getting a +2 on lightning launch to get legend lightning, dude, if you're not getting around a defender, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, strength on a 6'4" point guard build is really just to try to get through somebody. And I don't think you're going to need that a lot. I've used contact dunks in the dunk meter in past 2Ks a lot, and you don't need a high strength to be getting crazy contacts. Bro, my best years for contact dunks was 2K23 and 2K24 on both builds with no strength. Like, people be acting like you need strength to get contacts. That's just not the case at all. Anyways, this is the final build. I'm loving how this looks just for an all-around build. If you play rec or twos, really any game mode, you could adjust it a little bit depending on your game mode. I feel like this build will go crazy in rec and on the 2v2 court. Anyways, the build ends up coming out to be the same build name as my playmaking glass cleaner build video I already uploaded. It's called a two-way midi slashing cleaner compared to 𝙄𝙩 arenas. And guys, no weaknesses. The build has no weaknesses. Like, I'm out here the first time touching this builder, and I'm making builds with no weaknesses, man. Strength says refuses to get beat on defense. The strength says refuses to get beat defensively. Relentless downhill dunker. Consistent hitter from the nail. Hard to chase in transition. I mean, this is literally the perfect strengths and weaknesses scouting report we could have asked for. Anyways, let's move on to 2 other different versions of this build. So the second version of this build, same max wingspan, height, and weight. I messed up a little bit. I ended up going 46 standing, forgetting that you can't get standing dunks at 6'4" and below. So you can get extra attributes on this build if you go 40 standing, but we still have like 89 dunk. We went 77 layups, so you're going to be able to get that layup style at 75 with Jason Williams that a lot of people have been talking about. Plus you get a couple extra badges with that, like layup mixmaster. And then with the shooting, we went with the same shooting. By the way, on these builds, if you want to put up free throw, just put something else down. I didn't keep that in mind for any of the builds. Free throw is pretty cheap anyways. Like, I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Like, just change that for yourself if you want to. Then with the playmaking, we ended up going with the same playmaking. Like I said, there's just too many good dribble moves at 85 and below to gut this bid out for 92. Now, if you want to change it for 92, which I feel like a good amount of people are going to want to do that, you can easily do that. You can lower your pass ac, maybe lower something in your defense. If you don't like the rebounding, then yeah, just take off the rebounding. Maybe take off something else too, because you're probably going to need to, because that 92 ball handle from 85 is pretty expensive. And then moving on to the defense, we have a higher interior and a higher block on this version, 66 interior, 71 block. I feel like this is just the best paint defense you're going to get on a 6'4", without just destroying the rest of your build. And then, like I said, we swapped out 85 prim, 91 steal. So honestly, I would prefer the 92 prim, 85 steal, but 91 steal, you get the gold glove, gold interceptor. I mean, you could +2 one of those two at some point, get legend glove. That might be pretty crazy, because we didn't, like I said in the gameplay breakdown, none of the NBA players we tested had legend badges, so we never got to test legend badges. And then the rebounding, we actually got a +2 offense rebound, so now we have a 75 offense rebound with the ADD board. Hall of Fame rebound chaser with the +2. That would be crazy with this build, I feel like. And then moving on to the physicals, we have the same physicals, except we had to go -2 agility so we could be able to get that 91 steal and the higher driving layup. So just a very slightly different build. If you prefer higher layup, you prefer the steal, and you prefer a little higher interior defense, then this is probably something you can go with. And once again, man, the scouting report is loving us. We're getting compared to the literal MVP, finals MVP, cover of the game. Like, come on, bro. That's how you know this build is insane. No weaknesses again, and the strengths speak for themselves. This build's crazy, bro. Now, moving on to the third version, like I said, all these builds are very similar. We were just going for an all-around 6'4" build. We still have the max wingspan. We have the same weight, height, obviously. With the finishing, I wanted to make a version with 93 dunks. So this is that version. If you want more contacts, you want that gold posterizer, 80 vertical, then this might be something you want to go with. I didn't put up the layup at all. It's just automatically there. We just couldn't afford it. Standing dunk is minimum right now too. Everything right here in this section is minimized except for the driving dunk. We put the 93. Then the shooting. Once again, if you want to put up that free throw, go ahead and change something around. Go ahead and do so by all means. We have the same midi in 3 because we have the max wingspan, so we went with that on all of the max wingspan builds. Then the playmaking, there's a huge difference. This is the lower pass ac version, and we got away with some other things that you probably are gonna like. So if you wanted to go with 71 pass over the high 85 pass, this is gonna be what you can get away with. We still went with the 85 ball handle, so if you want to lower the dunk, maybe the speed or agility, rebounding, or perim to get the 92 ball handle, you can very well do that, okay? It might be more than you think that you're gonna have to take away, because like I said, that 85 to 92 ball handle is pretty damn expensive. Anyways, 86 speed with ball, so we can eventually get that legend lightning launch with the +2 or max +2 badge thing. Moving on to the defense, 64 interior, 70 block, 85 steal, 92 prim. This is a very good layout for your defense. You're going to get that gold interceptor. You're going to get the gold perimeter badges. You're going to get that bronze high flying denier that you could +2 over rebound chaser if you wanted to. And 64 interior is going to get the job done at 6'4". I mean, you are a 6'4" point guard. I don't see a reason to, like I said, lower any other stats down to get, what, a 70-something interior with no extra badges from it. Anyways, the rebounding. Maxed out 75 board, 80D board. I said earlier in the video, you could eventually +2 rebound chaser for Hall of Fame rebound chaser because it's a tier 2 badge. That is going to be insane. Then the physicals. We have an 86 speed as expected, but an 85 agility. I didn't see a lot of people from Community Day getting high agilities on their build unless they were a lockdown. this is a pretty high agility to get away with 0 cap breakers. And keep that in mind, all these builds are with 0 cap breakers, dude. Like, you could put 87 midi on all 3 of these builds and get something else with the shooting specialization thing. So no cap breakers for these builds. This is looking pretty solid, okay? 52 strength. If you want to put up strength and just completely lower some other stats, and you would have to higher your weight, which means you don't get the 86 speed of ball anymore, then hey, go ahead and do so. I don't think I'm gonna need strength on my 6'4" build. I'm gonna be able to get around the defenders rather than trying to get through them. And then in the contact dunks, you don't need a strength for contact dunks. I keep seeing people say that in the comments. I don't know what 2Ks y'all are playing, but bro, I'm a dunk meter guru, bro. You do not need strength with the dunk for the dunk meter. You just don't, okay? Anyways, 80 vertical for those contact dunk animations, and this is what this build is looking like. If you wanted the low pass sag version, this is what you could get away with. Like I said, go with that 92 ball handle by lowering some other things like rebound and perim, and maybe even the agility too. But yeah, this build is going to come out to be the same glass cleaner build name. They love giving me this name, bro. The only weakness on this one is the pass sag. So yeah, this is the only build of the video that has a weakness. But if you want to see what my playmaking glass cleaner 6'8" ISO build for day 1 is looking like, click the video on the left. And if you want to see what every 7'4" build is looking like in 2K26, click the video on the right.